Okay, so for verse and devotion today, and we're still talking about judgment, how attending church and reading the Bible can help you with judgment. This particular set of verses, it's 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 1 through 6. And these particular verses are pretty in your face. But it's true. I mean, the Bible's truth. So I'm going to go ahead and read them, and then I will break them down, go over them. It says, "Therefore, since Christ suffered in his body, arm yourselves also with the same attitude, because he who has suffered in his body is done with sin. As a result, he does not live the rest of his earthly life for evil human desires, but rather for the will of God. For you have spent enough time in the past doing what pagans choose to do, living in debauchery, lust, drunkenness, orgies, carousing, and detestable idolatry. They think it strange that you do not plunge with them into the same flood of dissipation, and they heap abuse on you. But they will have to give account to him who is ready to judge the living and the dead. For this is the reason the gospel was preached even to those who are now dead, so that they might be judged according to men in regard to the body, but live according to God in regard to the spirit." Now, if you don't understand this, I'm trying to explain it as best as I can. Whether or not you're a Christian or not, okay, so you're a Christian, you're not a Christian, doesn't matter. You were created for a purpose, with a purpose, to worship God. So if you're thinking to yourself, I've never worshiped God, I've never loved Jesus, I've never accepted him, and you think to yourself, I've always had a desire, a huge hole in my heart, something's not always been right. Well, the reason is because you don't have Christ. And that's why you were created, was because he's there to fit that little piece of the puzzle in your heart that's missing. And so, whether or not you're a Christian or you're not a Christian, your body has been created to have the Holy Spirit and Jesus dwell within it, to live within it. And whether or not you do or you don't have him in you, you will be judged someday. One day when you do stand before God, you will have to give an account and basically say, okay, I didn't do anything with Jesus, or I did do stuff with Jesus. Okay, that's about the best way I know how to explain that. And if you're a Christian and you've been doing all the things like it just said there, that you're not supposed to be doing, you'll be judged on that. If you didn't and you stand before God, he's going to know that he washed all that stuff away. Okay? So, my point is, judgment is inevitable. It will happen someday, whether you like it or not, or whether you agree with it or not. It says right here, but they will have to give an account to him who is ready to judge the living and the dead. For this is the reason the gospel was preached, even to those who are now dead, so that they might be judged according to men in regard to the body, but live according to God in regard to the spirit. So, living your life, and you may think, oh, well, whatever I do doesn't matter. Yes, it does. It matters to God. And when you sin against your own body, you are bringing judgment on yourself, whether you believe it or not, because you are. Because your body was technically created for the Holy Spirit to live in it. And you defile your own body when you do those things that it's talking about up in verse 3. So again, judgment, there's different facets of it. And this is just one of those sides. There will be a day that you will be judged. You'll have to give an account what you did with your life, with your physical body, with your spiritual body, and those coincide. So I hope you understand that. If you don't, ask, and I'll do my best to explain it to you. But there's only 2 more verses coming up with judgment, and then we'll be moving into a different topic. It will be perception and reality. That'll be fun. So that's it.